This tutorial demonstrates how to calculate total and effective stresses using FLAC3D for a homogeneous embankment dam with rock abutments. This tutorial video provides an extension of the FLAC2D tutorial Embankment Dam, which modeled the simpler 2D version of the problem shown to the left. In part 1 of this video, the specifics of the two models that are to be analyzed will be presented. In part 2, a more informal commentary of the FLAC3D work is provided. Note that although all the data files are provided in this video, and the overall structure discussed, the reasons behind specific modeling and scripting decisions, a critical aspect in analysis, are missing and outside the scope and time allowed in this video. To better understand such critical modeling decisions, additional resources should be sought. For example, one great resource is Itasca's help and support website found at itascasoftware.com/support/. Please note that the numerical meshes for both models have been developed to have less than 1,000 numerical zones and therefore can be completed using the free demonstration mode version of FLAC3D available. Note that the geometry of the embankment dam in the stream direction modeled in FLAC3D will be the same as in tutorial FLAC2D. In addition, the properties of the embankment dam remain essentially the same. The additional geometric complexities that will be modeled in FLAC3D are highlighted here. In this new model, the crest width of the dam will be 3 embankment heights, and the channel width will be a single embankment height. The adjacent rock foundation will be modeled with 6 meters of foundation rock below the embankment and 5 meters of rock abutments to the right and left. Properties for the rock are provided here. This tutorial video has been developed to incrementally lead to calculating the total and effective stresses of a complex geometry just shown and has been broken into two models. Model 1 to the left is simpler and consists of a 20-meter width of embankment and is developed using the extrusion with sketch set. Model 2, shown to the right, includes the embankment of rock abutments and is developed using building blocks. We now focus on the development of Model 1. Recall the sketch input parameters shown here as previously used in FLAC3D. The edge site group names along the boundaries of the embankment are shown. FLAC3D also requires specification of the out-of-plane dimension, in this example 20 meters. Also, it will be advantageous for later command assignments to define a face group along the left and right sides. Please note that a total of 5 numerical zones in the out-of-plane direction will be used to model the 20-meter width of the embankment. The location of the points along the boundary are shown here. The points are the same as those used in FLAC2D. As in the FLAC2D example, the mesh configurations will be controlled using the zone number object property for each of the 7 edge types. The values that will be used for each of the 7 edge types are provided in the table shown to the top right. Note that fewer zones are specified along the surface here in FLAC3D than FLAC2D because the goal was to ensure that FLAC3D models using the demonstration mode version of FLAC3D. We now focus on the development of Model 2. The drawing shown provides the subdivision of the blocks to be used in FLAC3D to model the domain, as well as the number of zones along the edges of the block. Please note that without use of the attachment or interface commands, that the number of zones per block must be the same along a specified row or column of block. This is the approach used here. Note that for the row of block that corresponds to the embankment height, the ratio multiplier, used to scale zone size with vertical length, is 0.895 in the vertical direction. This multiplier was chosen so that the bottom nodes of the top row of zones are near the reservoir level for more precise assignment of boundary conditions. Part 2 presents a more informal commentary on FLAC3D. In developing these models, a new FLAC3D project was created with the same plots as in the 2D. In addition, for the first model, the text files from the 2D example were recopied. Then in Model 2, the text files from the Model 1 were recopied. Then all subsequent changes were made. Here's the model produced from Sketch, also showing the face groups. This was created in Sketch, the model being shown here. Here is the development, very similar to the 2D version. Here's the addition on the top. You can then create the model. We're now switching to the changes. The text file that you see here is that coming exactly from the previous two-dimensional example. And what I'm highlighting here are the required changes for this to work in FLAC3D. As you can see here, there are some necessary changes to create the boundary conditions correct. Also the histories. This is the history location at the center of the slice. Also with histories, changing the YY location which is vertical in 2D, to ZZ, which is now vertical in 3D. And so here are the plots. These plots should look rather similar to those from the previous two-dimensional example. Now for the seepage. It's going to be anisotropic permeability, so the X and Y directions are provided now, the Z being different. Once again, we have X, Y, and Z coordinates. So here are the seepage results. Pore pressures look similar. It is a slightly coarser mesh. Flow is shown. It's 20 times the value from the 2D example because of the 20 meter out of plane width. The pore pressure at a particular location could also be outputted with the short fish script or command shown below. Variation in saturation, and next for the update stresses. One change is required, shown here. Here are the different densities, the densities used in FLAC, histories, and if desired, you could then also look at the values, the current value of those histories as shown here. We now switch to Model 2. Model 2 was created using building blocks. It's shown on the screen. The very beginning of producing this is shown here. So here is your first building blocks. You can then add to it. You can change into, say, a triangle as shown here by deleting this particular side. You can change the points. And so this task was continued to produce the model that is shown. Going back, here is the model. Here are the two groups, embankment and rock. Zone faces, you will see that there are a set of zone face groups for construction and for fluid. There is one additional one. You need to temporarily remove the bedrock, and you can see that the drain is a boundary condition. Now for the changes. There's two different groups now, so that command has been removed. Properties are different in the embankment and in the bedrock or the rock. Properties being input. Now this file that is being changed this is the file being changed from Model 1. So there are a few incremental changes. So this is not from the FLAC3D example, previous tutorial video, but from the model that was just shown. Again, highlighting the kind of incremental changes in the command script. So here are the stresses. These are the horizontal effective stresses, vertical effective stresses, shear stresses, displacement vector. Also can be advantageous is to have a cut. You can do that as being shown. So here is a cut. Next, the seepage analysis. First thing is that the seepage analysis, the approach used here is to conduct the seepage analysis only in the embankment. So the rock is going to be removed. This is one approach to do this. you can see that the boundary condition name was changed to drain. And then once we solve for pore pressures, we are then going to need to bring back the bedrock. So here's the rock. We have calculated pore pressures. Again, it is helpful to do a slice through the model, just being shown here. The same can be done for saturation. The last file, no changes are required. Here's the density used in FLAC. Here's a slice. This is the value that can be helpful in calculations, and changes in histories. This completes part 2, a more informal commentary of the FLAC3D work. To better understand such critical modeling decisions, additional resources should be sought. For example, one great resource is Itasca's help and support website, found at itascasoftware.com/support/. Thank you.